What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we're actually going to be doing a tier list video, guys, and ranking the 2023 characters that have released already in the game and where they would actually rank in terms of how well I think they are in the game, just across both sides of the game. I'm not going to specifically do a PvP one and a PvE one. I think what we can do is we can kind of merge them together and just, for usability reasons, I'll kind of rank them, I guess. But yeah, we have all the characters that have released so far in 2023. We know that True Magic Melee is going to be coming out for New Year's, but I thought I would be okay if we actually do this here, guys. So shout out to my boy Aura Expert. He actually did make the tier list and sent me the link so I could actually do it, but he actually did his own ranking on Twitter here, and I thought it would be a good idea to do my own ranking here and see where I would actually put all these characters and how good they've actually been in the game for Grand Cross and why I think these characters are where they ranked. So let's start with in chronological order, I guess. We'll start from what characters released throughout the year and we'll kind of go through there. I don't know exactly if this is ordered or not too much. Yeah, it's not too ordered. It's ordered a little bit from the beginning, but not really too much past that. So we'll kind of go through, guys, and we'll see where we're ranking the characters. But if you guys enjoy videos like this, man, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Your boy Amazing is on the road to that 50k subs, guys, and definitely would be appreciated if you would hit that like button, subscribe to YouTube channel, all that good stuff. Now, with that out of the way, guys, let's hop in and let's go over each character here and rank them on the tier list. So Purgatory Melee is the first character. That's an easy god tier, man. When Purgatory Melee came out, he was a menace and still a menace to this day. He's actually still a good character, surprisingly, man. The fact that this guy has lasted this entire year and has yet to fall off in terms of the demon team, he's still a staple on the demon team and has been since his release. I think he is still warranting of staying in the god tier. Obviously nowadays he's not as crazy on the demon team. He's still really good and he's a must run on it, but it doesn't mean that he's a bad character or anything like that nowadays, right? I definitely do think he's still very good. So Purgatory Melee, that's an easy god tier right there. Now with Awakened Mono here, I don't know where I want to rank Awakened Mono. You know what I might have to do, actually? I might have to go to some of the characters that came out this year that were just like absolute garbage. Like Red Goddess Elizabeth has to be there. I think, who else came out this year that was just a dud? Let's see here. Who else was a dud? Tristan was kind of a dud when he initially came out, but with the goddess meta kind of coming around the end of the year, I thought that was still okay. I'm trying to find like characters here that I could kind of like mix in. I'll put Camilla in C. I think Camilla was a character that released. She's good for guild boss, but that's it. She has like her one niche, right? This Elizabeth literally had no use though, so we have to put her in the D tier. Yeah, I mean Zenda could probably go in like C tier. Right, like she was a free character given. Now she had her like uses as well. I mean, you had like she had the Elad ultimate, so she had that, but it wasn't like anything too crazy, right? So yeah, probably another C tier character. I think how do we? Okay, it's hard to say, right? Because a lot of these characters here, it's like they're either like they're either like really good, which I know they're like a god tier. Like we could just kind of slap in the god tiers here. Actually, let's just start putting in the god tiers. We got Mael in god tier. We got the Demon King in god tier. We got where's Transcendent Bond? Transcendent Bond in god tier. So pretty much all the festivals so far. It looks like all the festivals have been hits this year, right? It looks like all the festivals have been hits. And then yeah, Queen Elizabeth as well. That's a given, right? I mean, we take all the light and dark characters. None of them were really bad. I mean, Transcendent Bond released and he was like a little like on the weaker side of the game, but then he got a buff and now he's like super broken. So I don't think any of these characters are really bad, and they all are deserving of god tier. Same with Purg Melee, right? Mael is the goddess character. He literally makes goddess team work. He gives them the stat lower immunity. Demon King is really good because he's a character that when using him in the game, he gets the he gets the all stats, he gets the card rank up, he has the damage cap before the card rank up and all that. So he's like an easy god tier. Transcendent Bond I mentioned is really good now, right? He did get the buff and he's like a really good Heroes Arena unit, really good PvP unit on Sins. Hell is still really good on Unknown, and then Queen Elizabeth goes with Mile. Like they're both goddess character, the goddess team, right? They're still really good. Yeah, and then in terms of other characters here, let's see, like where else could we rank some characters here? I think Eris probably goes in the C tier. She has a use, but it's very niche, and it's pretty much just like farming, right? She only really has farming. I think Awakened Mono like is not really like a crazy character, but it's definitely like a cool character. But she probably would be B or C, man. Like even then, like if I'm giving her B tier, it's because I like the character, not because she's a better character than these characters. Because honestly, arguably, you could argue these characters might be better than Mono because of what she's doing. She doesn't really do too much. She's only really good in PvP on a catastrophe team, and the only time catastrophes have been good is in Chaos Battle. Really, that's really it. I guess because of that, I'll give her the B tier though. Sure. Let's see who else we got here. I think Green Excalibur Arthur, though, this free character is a S tier easily, because he's really good on the human team. He's really good as a backline on on the human team. He's good on Heroes Arena. Like, he's just great, and considering he was free too, like, that's a easy S tier right there in my opinion. Yeah, no, he definitely gets the S tier right there. Ela was a fairly good release, I'd say. I mean, she's not like exactly what Goddesses needed, but she's definitely a good backline. I think I'm gonna rank Tristan and Elad in the same tier. Actually, I think I'm gonna both put them here. Like, I think they're both great, but they only became good after this character released, because even when it was just Mael, they weren't that crazy, right? Like, you were not using Ela and Tristan. I mean, you would try to use Ela because she kind of came out when, Ella Margaret came out, and then you would run Mael with Ella Margaret, right? But it still just wasn't enough, right? So there is that. What's another God tier character we could rank here? Tier could go in God tier. He might be the only character he might be the only character on this list. Well, him and Roxy maybe. I think Roxy is arguable. But Roxy is probably either S tier or, God tier. But like, tier is like the only character here that's not a festival that is on the festival level of characters. Like, he is really, really good, man. Him giving the attack when you're lower HP. He has the crit chance up. He has the auto applying the debuff on the enemy. He has weak point. He's a really good farming unit. Like, tier does pretty much everything. So he is definitely warranted of the God tier. And when he did release, he was a very good character. I don't know if he was the best character in the game when he released, considering this character existed, but he was still very good, right? Not to take away from him. He was great. And then let's see here. Who else we got? We got Albedo. Albedo might be another God tier as well. This is literally the whole unknown team right here. They released a whole team this year for these characters, right? So yeah, I mean, Albedo is really good. She has the counter. She has the damage dealt lower. She gives attack related stats to the team. She has support. She has the amplified counter for damage, right? Just such a broken character, man. I think Albedo has to be like another God tier character. Actually, when I think about it, I think she and tier are the only characters that are not festivals that will make this tier, because Roxy's very close, but she, I don't think, makes the tier just because of the fact that, that's the thing. Like, she is really good though. Human team is up there though, but I don't want to give too many God tiers. I think she is good, but like, she's definitely like missing like something else, right? Which is why I thought like Chaos Arthur might be the next festival, because we definitely needed some more like human buffs here, man. But it looks like they're going in the direction of Goddesses, and that's why they released Queen Elizabeth when they did. And then Mael obviously with Queen Elizabeth is a really good combo, and so I guess that made sense there. But yeah, I mean, arguably though, Roxy could be another character that fits that God tier, but I think in general though, she's probably an S tier. Like, she wasn't a must summon when she released. She was a character that was really good, but she wasn't a must summon. She got a Holy Relic and she was really good, but that still didn't make her like, it made her very good, but it wasn't gonna make her like, better than pretty much all these characters in the top tier overall in the game. She is really good though across the whole game, and is definitely arguable of this tier. But I think this is fair to say as the God tier for what it is. And yeah, I mean, Roxy is pretty good though. Red Freya though, I think is another S tier. I think she was really good when she released. People tried to run her on the Ragnarok team and she wasn't like too crazy in PvP. But then what happened that made her crazy is she became the Nidhogg unit. And when she became the Nidhogg unit, she was great. I think Green Freya can go in a tier below because she's only really a PvP unit, but she still can be used for Nidhogg, so there is that at the very least. Margaret probably goes in. Yeah, it's hard to say because she was made for Nidhogg, right? But we already had Freya, and after she released, she kind of just made it like super easy. So I guess because of that, she was like the Nidhogg unit, I guess, with her. So both of these characters are the Nidhogg units, and then with Ella Elizabeth on top of that, you had another Nidhogg unit. So a lot of Nidhogg units this year. I guess they didn't really know how to go about it. But yeah, I mean, these two characters were still really good together, and I guess we could rank Margaret in the S tier as well. Let's see here. AOT characters. I think Aaron gets a lot of flack. I think he's a good character. The problem is he's not better than this whole list of characters right here. That's the problem, guys. I think that was the main problem that Aaron had when he released. I think Aaron over time has gotten, you know, a lot more use. I've used my Aaron on my free-to-play account on some, like, you know, boss battle stages. Like, look at the Baruja event right now. I actually run Aaron and Roxy together, and they just literally one-shot the fight, guys. So, like, Aaron does have his usability. I just do think that he was outshined a lot by these other characters on the God tier because they were all just dark and lights, and Aaron needed to be attacking a type disadvantage character to do well. I think Levi kind of fits the same mold there too. He was like a buff strip character, but when there's not any buffs in the PvP meta, you're not really using him. And even on human team right now, you really don't run Levi in PvP right now. Even with the infect and all of that, he just, I don't know, he just didn't seem like a character that, you know, was really going to be used too long, you know, unless, like, as long as buffs are gone in the meta, Levi has no use. If the buffs are there, then he's pretty good, right? And I guess with Goddess team being a thing right now, he definitely does have his usability, but you know, it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. Like, I think both Aaron and Levi were okay characters, but they just weren't, like, you know, they weren't good enough for how hyped they were, I guess, because people were definitely hyped for these characters, but they just weren't as good as people expected them to be. So I think that was kind of where they shined there. But yeah, man. All right. King right here. King is kind of a chaos battle unit. I think this tier could literally just be chaos battle teams. You know what I mean? This tier could literally just be relegated to chaos battle because Elaine is a good character. I actually do think Elaine was a good character release. Because she's good. It's just she's not like, you know, she's just not like God tier. She's not S tier, I don't think. Yeah, she probably goes with King. Or even here, like, I don't know. Maybe I just delete this tier, actually. Maybe I move these guys up and I delete this tier and I move maybe Mono down. I think I might do this. I actually think I might do this because, yeah, and then we'll just do this as B and then C. Because I do think that the difference between, like, this tier and this tier is not that substantial, but, like, these characters are all on, like, fairly the same level, I'd say, depending on their usages, right? I mean, these guys are obviously a lot better because of Guy's team and usage, but yeah, I mean, you know, in general, like, they're backline characters, right? So they're not, like, as valuable as the characters on the main team. Yeah. Let's see. Who else we got here? I think Hawk and Oslo is a pretty good character, but only as used on the defense team. So he doesn't really have too much viability there. I think Rudius is the same thing as Levi, where he was kind of a human character that released, and he had chaos battle viability too. But other than that, you know, he didn't really get too much uses there. Red Miguelda, I think, can go in S tier. She was a great Universal Demonic Beast character when she released. This Matrona probably fits in this tier as well. Like, she is decent, but I think the main thing that this Matrona lacks is that, you know, the red Matrona has the healing when she's lower HP. This Matrona only has 2-turn healing, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I'd have to actually pull her up again. Let me see. But I think the Matrona has, like, it's like 2 turns only, and then her passive, like, runs out, right? Like, from what I remember. Let's see here. Yeah, Plasma effect on which decreases damage taken at the start of the turn for 2 turns and heals debuff allies 20% of their max HP at the start of the allies turn. So I think it's just the damage reduction you lose after 2 turns, but you still do get this. So it's okay, right? It's definitely okay, but I don't think it makes it, like, you know, a character that is really good because of it. I think they should just have inherent damage reduction and just let Matrona have 30% and not be turn restricted, right? Like, that's fine. Matrona's not crazy of a character anyway, right? Ludo goes in the C tier. This Ludo, man, when he released, he was trying to help Mael, but he just wasn't the character to do it. You know what I mean? He just was not good enough to do it, man. He really does suck. And that is very unfortunate considering, you know, at the time, they were trying to push Goddess team with Mael, but they didn't do anything. They left Mael. Ludo came out and didn't do anything. And then they only got another Goddess support when Elad dropped and LR Margaret. And then finally Queen Elizabeth. And that's when they started getting good Goddess characters. So, you know, initially they didn't have anything, man. They really didn't. This Roxy right here, at least right now, doesn't have too much viability. So I think I am going to put her in the B tier right here. I think Blue Roxy is a lot better. This Christmas Roxy does have that HP increase for the team, which I do think is pretty good. But other than that, I mean, you're not going to get too much usage out of her, man. Unless we get like a LR Purgatory Bun, you know, I don't see a reason to actually use her. She does give HP to any team in the game, though. That is one thing to, you know, differentiate between this Arthur right here, where he only gives it to humans. This you know, Roxy can actually give it to any character in the game, guys. So she's not limited to just humans. But I just think that, like, this Roxy doesn't have any use on any team really, because the HP scaling teams anyway were human team with Purgatory Bond. So yeah, I mean, right now that Roxy doesn't really feel too good. But I mean, she is still okay. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the rest of the collab here for Mushoku Tensei. I think they are all probably the same tier. I think they all actually fit this mold of being A tier characters. They're all good. They're just not like super broken crazy, right? Like I think that's where they fit. Even Ghislaine, you could argue is like S tier actually, because she was still really good, and nowadays she kind of counters that Albedo stance meta, right? So she was actually pretty good because of that. I actually will move her to the S tier. She was pretty good. Irons, I think, probably fits in this tier too. I don't think that changes. Shawl tier is definitely a tier above though. She's definitely an S tier because she is really good on Heroes Arena. Same with Albedo. Both these characters are good in Heroes Arena, by the way. Crazy. Really good characters. And then, yeah, Kokyutas, I'd say probably B. He hasn't really gotten too much usage nowadays. And, yeah, I mean, as a character, he's okay, right? You do get the all stats. I think that is pretty nice, but you know, after actually testing him out, you don't really get too much benefit from his passive, because his passive, the way it works is that you have to be I think it's debuffed, and then you cleanse the debuff when you attack, and that's when you get the max HP. You don't just get the max HP every time you attack, but you do get the all stats that way though. You do get the all stats that way, which is pretty cool. So I will give Kakatas that. And then moving on to Merlin here. I think this Merlin is pretty good. This Merlin is kind of just like Echidna. You know, the way Echidna works, she gets 5% basic stats per unknown ally. She seals the rank 2 skills. So she definitely had her use. And with the rank up that she gets as well, it actually is pretty good against, you know, some of the teams that you would be facing. So definitely a character that is pretty good. And yeah, I guess this is my tier list, guys. I mean, this is the characters that released in 2023 and where I'd rank them. What I say this year overall was good for Grand Cross. Honestly, the character releases this year have not been too great. There are obviously some you know, hits right there. I'm glad all the festivals were hits, right? Even when Transcendent Bond released, like, he was still not the greatest character, but he got that buff that he needed, right? So overall, all the festivals, you know, passed. Tyr and Albedo were really good, right? Just two really strong unknown characters. Roxy, even arguably a god tier character, right? Yeah, I mean, there was some like gems throughout this year, but then there was like Ludo and Red Goddess Liz, where it's like, why did they release? And then you look at like Camilla, it's like, okay, we didn't need her. Matrona, we didn't really need her. You know, this Hawk and Oslo, we did not need. Like, what defense meta team are we running with this Hawk and Oslo backline? Like, Naofumi? Like, if we're running Naofumi, we're running Blue Guild Thunder, right? So yeah, just a lot of like, you know, just weird decisions this year for sure, man. But other than that though, I mean, this is still fairly good. I mean, yeah, we'll have to see when we do the 2024 unit review, and we'll see what the characters were then. So that's gonna be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And what do you guys think of where I rank the characters on the tier list? Remember, this is more of just my opinion in terms of their release and how they actually affected the game in general. Obviously, not all these characters are like, you know, exactly ranked for where they are viability wise. Like, Roxy is like still one of the best PvP teams in the game. I just don't rank her in the god tier because she wasn't making that much of a, you know, like a point to the game. Like, Albedo really did shift the meta, like Hell did, Transcendent Bond did, Demon King. All these characters here shifted the meta in some way, or were really relevant characters across one piece of content. And then yeah, from there it obviously changed. So yeah, man, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, man. Peace out, and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.